You take 56. Bam. Right to the helm. In spite of everything, 6 goes through. That's not a killing wound to a dwarf, but you are unconscious. And you go down. Boom, into the snow. He has cut down your son. You go into a fury. Roll 20-sided, roll 20-sided. This is your blow.
One up his legs, side sword ever, and fly in the air and put both axes into his head.
Fate, roll 20.
14.
Nat 20.
Let's go! That's Dad's love!
You come in and you realize instinctively what's going on. You are a dwarf. You fought giants. And now it's like instead of the orcs overwhelming you, you are against the giant fighting in tandem. You scream, Barakuzan! The giant cuts him down, turns towards you, and winds up to swing like this. And you just stand there and you smile at him, and he looks at you almost incomprehendingly as he winds up and he's like wondering why you're smiling as you're about to die. And all of a sudden, it's like a basketball player doing the perfect layup for his teammate. You see him run up his leg with double axes, ooh, in a fury, and comes down with both of them. Roll 20-sided one more time.
Yeah, 1.
You annihilate him. In fact, you see part of his head shatter as if it's made out of ice, and this bluish black blood goes everywhere. The only thing is, instinctively he turns, boom, and as you're flying in the air, blasts you with his hilt into your face, and you see him tumble in the air, end over end, spread eagle. Woof, woof, woof. Crash on the ground. The giant turns to you. You two are standing all of 6 feet apart. He has his hammer. And you see the other dwarves that are with you. In fact, somebody rolled 20-sided. Alias is firing a crossbow bolt at the exposed brains of this thing.
Set.
Look! You see a bolt sink where the skull was cracked, and it sinks into his head. You know when it disappears. Oh! Oh! It is screaming. There's blood just spurting out of its head. Oh! And cracks start to appear on its face, but it is still alive.
So I run up to you
and Alice goes, "What does it take?" As he's reloading. But the giant turns towards you, and its sword is like half shattered. It's still as long as it ever was, but there's pieces missing out of it. And he turns to you two, and you see the other dwarves, the ones that have survived, running behind him, just in a frenzy, like they're going to kill this thing come hell or high water, but he is on you.
I turn to you and say, "Launch me." So I run over to him, and we practiced this move before.
Yeah.
And he launches me into the air, and I come down with all my might, with my hammer, into the jaw of the first giant.
Your brother is a little wacky. This move has never ever worked the times that you've done it, but for some reason you're like,
Might as well try.
Barakuzan.
Barakuzan.
And he jumps,
upon
and you throw him. The giant has no idea what the hell you two are doing. Roll 20-sided, the both of you.
19, I'm done.
Yeah, it's 11.
He comes, and he actually gets a good, like your leg is bent, and he actually comes down on it with a boot to press off, and you kind of help it, and you're like, is this going to work? Probably not. You launch at him, and it's like a soft softball pitch at a batter. And he looks at you like he doesn't even believe what this is happening, and he tries to punch you with the sword like he did to him. It's either going to be you or him, dude. Roll 20-sided.
I've got a 50. How about 20?
Oh!
Yeah!
Let's go!
Oh!
There's an automatic 20 there.
Bango,
I
bango.
come down, and my hammer connects to his jaw and blows half of it off, and it's just hanging there by some tendons. Gross teeth, ice teeth go flying.
And he steps back, and you are covered in that blue-black blood, and it freezes on your skin, and you love it. And you see the light go out in his eyes, and all you see is his eyes go black. And 3 of the dwarves just launch into him, and the giant, they're just clubbing into his legs. Goosh, goosh, goosh. The giant goes down to one leg, and then it's into his head, into his arm, and you just see pieces of him flying. And one of them goes into the sword cracks in two, and they just don't stop until this thing is in pieces on the ground.
Yes.
And you know,
For the dwarves! For Kundarek!
it is dead. You have killed a frost giant. This thing was 22 feet tall. It is dead. Alias says, "It's about damn time! Now fix the little dairy girl!" And he stumbles over and pulls the bolt out of the guy's head. "Ah! I can't believe we lost her!" But everyone looks at him and nobody laughs at the joke because you realize there's dwarves all over this field. Real dwarves. He's maybe too drunk to realize what happened and was focusing too much. You are down. You are down. You can hear him howling in pain.
Can I look for any?
You are down.
Yes.
There's a dwarf that's cut in half. There's another one that's...
I look through the polices.
Well, truly said.
See if there's something in there that I can use to help. That'd be a 6.
You find it. The thing is that you have dwarves that are arriving at the trauma center, and you just found some band-aids and aspirin. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the wounds that people have sustained, they are pretty serious. You know for sure that Maine is dead because he is in half, and his frozen innards are shattered on the ground. You know that he is alive, but he's holding his neck in the fetal position. He's not yelling and screaming anymore because he is who he is, but you know that he is in desperate pain and he is really hurt. He is unmoving, and he is spread eagled in the snow.
Can I use heal condition?
Tror is down. Eggmon is okay. 4V is down. So there are a lot of dwarves. There are a lot of dwarves that need help.
Can I use heal condition on myself?
Roll 20-sided.
4.
You are in way too much pain. But Eggmon kneels near you. He says, "Are you all right? Are you all right? What happened?"
I think my neck is broken.
He grabs your runes, and then he grabs your hand, and he places your runes in your hand and makes a fist around them. He says, "No, we need you. You need to heal the others." And then he throws the runes right in front of your face.
Restore health.
Oh, that's convenient.
The runes always know.
The runes always know. And he bends down and he puts his forehead to your temple, and he puts his arms around you. He says, "Pray, brother, and cast it."
And I cast it.
Roll 20 one more time.
So I'm going to give a character 20 that I bought for Leaf earlier.
Nice.
Oh, sly little player. He just gave you a 20.
Is that a deal?
Let me get you alive.
Something comes over you, and you realize the destiny of this party is all on you. It's all on you. And you just say, "Evil, we have a fated destiny. We are the royal house. You have sat in our throne. Do not leave us. Not for me, for them. Not for me, for them." And you stand. And everyone is just kind of looking at you. You say, "Not for me, for them." And you are standing. And you are almost in a trance. And you turn and you look out over the field. He is down and unmoving. He is down and unmoving. Tror is down and unmoving. They are in rough shape, but they're all right. You see dead on the field. 4V, Maine, both dead. Just they didn't have what you guys have. You guys are in heirloom dwarvish equipment from the royal house. 2 dead, 3 unmoving. Who might be dead, might be alive. What do you do?
I go over to check them and try to use health restoration.
Who do you go over to?
I'll go over to Herc first.
Herc is, you do, and actually Eggmon goes with you, and you're there as well. And Herc is breathing. Herc has a huge, horrible gash on the forehead that went halfway through the skull. But this is a dwarf. Herc is going to live and recover. You could probably look to her last. So you go over to, this is the role of your life. Roll 27.
Great. 6. What does it mean to happen?
He's broken. He was engulfed out of the air. You cast your, he is in bad shape. You cast your spell, roll 27.
17.
I want you to put +1 towards that spell, and you just see his breathing is like, which is a really bad sign. If you are really hurting, that's instinctive breathing, and it means that like all that's keeping you alive is like the reflexes and the animal part of your brain. He goes, and then you cast it over him. He goes, and you know that he's going to be all right.
Where comes to?
His eyes open.
Herc, where's my son?
Your son's fine. No way.
He's a hero. Those three are all heroes. This fight was, I mean, your entire party was frozen with fear when this party began, but everyone stepped forward and did what they had to do. But the one person who stepped forward first, you have not yet tended to. I want one person to roll one time. I like this guy, but you're welcome to roll one. Sure.
7.
And you go to Thor, and Thor is broken. He is awake, and his eyes are blinking, and you can just tell that. I mean, his arm is in a weird position, like it's shattered. You know that for him not to get up, you know his ribs are popped. This guy is destroyed, and he just looks up at you.
I have very little faith.
And then he reaches up with his good hand, and he takes you by the shirt, and he drags you close to him. And then with his bad hand, you see him draw a knife. And he puts the knife to your throat. He says, "But I will kill you if you do not heal me. Do you understand?"
I'll try my best.
Like, I'll try my best. And then he puts the knife away. He goes, "Good." And then the grip on your front it was tight, and it loosens. Like he's just holding on to you now. And he closes his eyes. And you throw the runes.
18.
His eyes close. He is so badly wounded that it's not even enough. He is going to take weeks to recover. So he will most likely have to be left behind or carried somehow. So your greatest hero here in this bunch, or close to it, is hors de combat, they say. He is out, but he is alive. You have saved him. He's not going to die. And Alias comes up. Will he live?
For now, yes.
All right. And then Alias grabs you by the scruff of the neck, and you're like, "I'm really getting tired of these dwarves pulling me everywhere." But Alias isn't doing it because he's mean. He's just doing it because he's drunk. And then once he gets you up, he puts his arm around you. He says, "Come on." And he takes you over, and you see the pieces of little Dairy Queen. He says, "All right." But it's a machine. This is not your gig. You know, you have to, and you just kind of look over the pieces of little Dairy Girl, and you just see a broken toy. He says, "Go, do it."
Forgive me for I could not save this one.
I shamble over.
Alias begins to cry. In fact, he falls to his knees and begins to cry. It just blubbering, just loses it.
I grab
trying
him.
to say, leave. Runes cannot say this one, but I know something that might help. And then I walk over to Nain, and his top half is over here, and his bottom half is over here. And I
No.
I say to the rest of the party, I say, "Take heart, dwarves. May we all die such a glorious death as Nain here." For he was rent in twain by a frost giant's blade, but by it he sealed his fate and shall has died a warrior's death. And he's an inspiration and something we should all aspire to.
Alvice, he nods and says, "We will bury them all together with honor." And he walks over to him and he starts to arrange him, put his shield and his hammer.
And I'm kind of hunched over there, and it's a top of his torso, and you can't really see what I'm doing, but you see me fidgeting. And then I let him finish his work, and I've got something, and I'm not letting anyone see what it is.
This is a much more difficult operation to do secretly than your words would belie.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, there's absolutely no way that you're going to do this without everyone noticing. No way. So you can do it, but you can do it.
So, yeah, why not? Probably obvious what I'm doing, but I'm trying to be discreet about it. And then I just, without thinking, I walk over to the little dairy girl and start muttering to myself and pulling parts and bending them, the ones that are bent, putting them back into shape and arranging things, snapping things.
All right,
into
we're a
place,
little ahead of
into place.
ourselves. We're a little ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
Roll 27.
Ooh, do the one.
You
Yeah, grandma. Is that a brute?
Yeah,
That's
it's
a wrist.
authority.
you are
15.
you start to do what you're doing. A hand grips you, and lucky for
Try to
you,
brush it off. Trust me, this
it is Egmont,
Hmm.
and he has gripped your hand with a fierce strength, even though this is not his gig. And he pulls your hand back and he says, and he whispers, he says, "I know what you're doing. I am the scholar, remember the toy maker.
Yes.
Do not do this."
Ning was a pure soul. I can tell. And he can still be useful to us.
If you do this, you will be the first dwarf killed by another dwarf. And he lets go of you.
So I mull it over. The words are pretty weighty, and I look around and see that everyone's looking at me, and
It is an odd moment, but there are some that are looking at you and wondering what just happened. But the body of the other dwarf who has perished is brought over, and rocks are being brought to them, and they are being cairned in place.
I think for a moment that I ought not do this, but I look over at Troy, and I see that he can't move, and I just look at him with empathy in my eyes, and I look back at Egmont. I say, "I'm sorry, I have to try." And so I put the heart that I took from Nain into a jar, and then tried.
No, you did not.
I did not.
So you did not. He stopped you before you were going to do it.
Okay.
So before you were like kind of edging forward and kind of moving your hand in between the legs and the body and then the hand just went crank and pulled you out before anyone else saw. All right, so you have a little bit of blood on your fingertips, and that's about it. So you do not have the heart.
Right, so I turn to Egmont and say, "I need a pure heart." Nain was a pure soul.
Egmont looks at you in horror.
It's, I can't expect you to understand it, but there's purpose beyond this life if we just give it purpose. And I have that gift.
Do not do this. This look comes over him of just pure horror. And he turns and he walks away. And you kind of watch him walk away. And he goes about 30 feet, but then he stops but does not turn around. So he's 30 feet away with his back towards you, like he just doesn't even want to see what happens next.
So
Rocks are being put on these two men.
I look and then I proceed with make a little cut and I pull and then praying to myself that it comes out in one piece.
I come in and I stop it and I see it.
Roll, both of you
Everybody's
roll
skin.
20-sided.
I'm unconscious.
Everybody roll 20-sided.
4, 1.
I'm still out.
What did you roll?
1.
You rolled a 1 as well?
Mhm.
Actually, you look around, it doesn't look like anybody's aware of what you're doing. No one. And you're just like, this is my opportunity. And you go for it, and you're like, the faster the better. And you hear this, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And you look up, and you see Alvice is about 10 feet away, and he's looking at you with absolute horror as you have the heart of his companion in your hand. What have you done? And he pulls out his hammer, and he goes, abomination! And he charges you. Roll 20.
We all hear this, obviously.
You all hear this.
Start booking all this.
6.
He swings and you barely get out of the way. Woof! He comes back, he is earth melted and in a fury. He swings again at you.
Stop this! I will not fight you. It's a.
Boom! He hits you in the head. Roll 20.
20 all in.
He does 27. It doesn't go through. Boom! But he just rings your bell and puts you on Clear Street and comes back low to your knee. He's at pluses as you just try to regain your balance. He hits you again. Crack! This time, he hits you where you don't have too much armor, and he sunders you. You just feel your knee go, and you go, oh! And you go down, and as you go down, he kicks your helmet. Roll 27. All of you are running over. Your helmet goes flying, and then he comes down with the hammer. This is your life. You're gonna need a good roll. Roll 27.
This is combat or is this 12?
This is combat. Oof! And you just see brains go everywhere.
Oh.
And Alweiss is just, he's just horrified. And all of you look, and his hand goes like this, and you see the heart of this dwarven warrior roll out of it. And all of you just step back in horror as you realize that he has reached in to the dead body of this dwarven warrior who died fighting against the common enemy and has torn out his heart. And everyone is just shocked. And Alweiss is just horrible. He throws down the hammer. He says, I cannot be the first dwarf in history to kill another dwarf. And he takes out a knife.
I say no, and I run for him.
You run at him, and he just turns and looks at you. Roll 20-sided.
And then we added out dead. 3.
You are dead. You know what's coming, and you run at him. You don't get there quick enough as he raises the knife to his throat, and he cuts his jugular vein. Just all the while staring at you. Everyone roll 20-sided one more time.
18.
And you get to him, and you just don't even know what to do. You put your hand on the wound, and you're like, why? And just blood is coming out of both sides, all over your hand, and he's just looking at you. And he just looks off, like, this can't happen soon. He's going to be dead in 30 seconds, but he's just looking out like,
I'm just sorry. Why did you
let this end.
have to
Let
do
this end. Let this end. Let this end. And he drops the knife. He says, I do not deserve it, but bury me with honor. Bury him with honor. Speak not of this. One person roll 20-sided one more time.
It's a 4.
And he drops to his knees. And then he pitches forward. Boom. And he is dead. And 2 more have died, and all of you just look out in horror. This is if you want to talk about bad omens, no dwarf that you know of that has made the tales has ever slain another dwarf. This has just happened.
I frantically start digging. So I start just take a fucking sword or whatever it's at. I just start digging.
You see him, he has just lost it. In his eyes are darting, he's just digging, and you see howls are coming up from everyone. And Alias, what just happened? What just happened? And he is just can't comprehend. He thinks it's part of his drunkenness. He just doesn't even understand. Egmont has not moved. It's like he saw it coming. You see the father has just...
I'm still unconscious.
Oh, you are unconscious.
I'm
Actually,
gonna wake up and be like,
What happened?
yeah.
roll 20-sided.
Oh.
One.
Actually, you are not unconscious.
Oh, I'm dead?
The worst possible thing happened to you. You woke up just in time to see this whole thing
Oh
happen.
my god. Oh god.
So, if you were unconscious, you could have at least said to yourself, I am not part of this dishonor. You were awake for it. You were part of it. You are stained with it. Whatever just happened is on you, as if someone had taken the blood and spattered it into your face.
Wake up from a brain wound. What? Did you know, my prince? Did you know your brother did these things?
We will not speak of this now until I finish burying these bodies. Leave me alone.
You almost don't even want to find your brother. How could you? If you rescued your brother and told him what just happened, he would spit on you for rescuing him.
He... And I sort of sit up.
We'll speak of this later. This is... My mortal mind cannot even understand what has happened yet.
You hear Chor say, what has happened? What has happened? And his back is to this whole scene.
Nothing that you...
What has happened?
Nothing.
Your honor is not...
The waste that this giant left is too much to bear.
Right. I look at the priest.
Or he asked help.
Yeah, and I sit up and I look at the priest from where I'm holding my head. And I say, the king, the guard, they declared that is not something a dwarf would do.
We will speak of this later. That is when we'll decide what happens.
If he was not I'm like in and out, if he was not a dwarf, then I'd just sort of fall back.
Fate. Roll 20-sided.
I don't do pluses, right? Because it bids. That's just a 9.
Yeah.
You are horrified at what just happened. You don't even comprehend what just happened. You thought this was... Dwarves are ambitious. They want adventure. They want wealth. They want to seek out status. They're willing to get it with force of arms with their brothers. You joined this clan. You have sworn oaths to this clan. You are part of this. There is no walking away. You are Vagar. And you have just seen a dwarf killing another dwarf, and he has just slain himself. And you know that Alvice was the most honorable of dwarves. You cannot comprehend how or why this happened. Why Alvice, if Alvice did it, he did it for a reason. And you look and you see the heart, and you can't comprehend that. And then you look upon all of them and you're like, what have I done? You have sworn oaths to a clan that has done something that will resonate past your death. It not only will affect all of you in the afterlife, but your entire clan forever. And you are the clan of the High King. This is not, and you are of it. You have sworn oaths to it. You cannot walk away from those oaths, and you can't regret it. You are now one of them as if you were born to it, and you have witnessed this.
So I walk up, as Vager, I walk up to Gisli and I say, what is the meaning of this? What in the hell did your brother just do?
I don't even understand it myself.
You're his brother, for God's sake. Didn't you see what he was up to? Wandering the halls of the cattle delve?
He was acting quite peculiar, but never could I have imagined that this
Peculiar? This is a sin against all Dwarven kingdom, all Dwarven kind.
Trapped and killed. Trapped and killed.
And that,
For some reason, it's not funny this time. It's like you're being taunted.
and that abomination that's been following us, if I see it, I will smash it to pieces. I cannot believe I swore oaths to this clan.
Andy says, enough, brother. He was one of the 5 dwarves who came out with you. He says, it is, when you swore those oaths, you are one of them. We are in this together for good or ill forever. Us and our line.
I can support the Clan Kundarek. I can support my brothers, but that evil cannot be permitted to stand.
I'm still on the ground. Like I said, that's. I'm still in and out because of the concussion. And I said, surely other dwarves have been cast out, declared anathema.
Egmont says, we are cast out. We are anathema.
No, that is not what a dwarf would do. Something corrupted his mind.
You saying that Slackjaw is no longer a dwarf?
Yes, for no dwarf nor brother of ours would do something like that.
That might explain some of this.
Perhaps he found something in those halls.
something made him sick.
Vager.
Something made him sick, corrupted his mind, broken.
Fate. Egmont all of a sudden stiffens and he walks over to Slackjaw and he begins to just search the body, but in a way that's awkward, like he's never done this before. And he says, come, let me show you. And Egmont waves you over.
I'll walk over.
And he says, do you see?
See what?
Here,
What am I supposed to see?
you can tell that the infernal creature has poisoned him with some sort of magic the dwarves are not immune to, and it corrupted his mind. You can tell. He gestures again to the body.
Yes, I see it. In fact, she was poisoned.
I see it as
The
well.
dwarf.
He says, come, let me show you.
To me?
He says, see? And he gestures towards the body. Come, let me show you.
Yes.
Let me show you. Come, king. And he gestures towards the body. Do you not see? You are the High King in the absence of your brother. If you say that you see, it is truth. Do you not see?
Yes, I see.
Then Slackjaw died long ago in honor. This is something else. This is an undead construct of some kind that we fought against in the past. It was not known that dwarves could be turned into this. But now we know, and we must be cautious in the future. We will not bury we will not bury him as a construct. We will bury him as Slackjaw, a brother who passed long ago, though we know not when. Put him with the others. And Egmont turns to you, and he just bows, gives you a look. And then he turns to you, and he sees the expression on your face, and his eyes close, but they open again. He turns to you once more, and he says, do you not see?
On this far.
Do you not see?
What you've put in the air, none of them can forget. Why was he here to even witness? To speak of? How did they sing in songs? He died against the battle of the Great Frost Giant. Nothing else, nothing more.
Then let it be so. Only we will know the truth. No one needs to know about this.
Not know the truth, we will bear it. We will bear his slight of honor. That's what it must be for our clan to go on.
Roll 20.
16.
Egmont says nothing, but he does look at you. He looks at you to say something. Anything.
We still have to get moving.
Yes, we
Yeah,
still have
we-
much to say.
We're
Yes. What will we do at Chor?
building a shelter of some kind.
I will carry him. We'll go to the tower. First, let's bury these. Let's finish with this. Put it in the ground and forget it.
I shall bury him. I shall take care.
Very well. I should help with the burial.
Needy steps forward and he says, if you wish, I will take Chor back to the northern cavern and I will return. It is not fitting to leave him here. Either that or I think we should take him with
I
us.
say we're taking him with us to bring him back there.
Perhaps
Possible death.
you can heal him more as we go.
I can continue to try to heal him, but it will take time. If you can carry him, we will heal him.
Build a litter of some kind to carry. Okay.
Actually, Needy steps forward and he begins to gather rope and he is going to make a litter. And for some reason, Needy has decided that he is going to take care of Chor. The good thing is there is snow on the ground, so he can just tie ropes to him and use them as almost like a sled. And you are dwarves, so it's just a question of you can put one foot in front of the other, you'll be fine. This is not a burden. Chor, you hear him cussing and swearing under his breath the entire time, but he allows himself to be roped up and dragged. And there is a pall over everything as you dig a hole. And it is just, even though you don't feel the cold, it is miserable. It is evil. This frost giant is still in pieces. There's blood everywhere. And you bury your dead. Everyone roll 20-sided.
And then Vager takes, because Vager's wearing cheaper armor
Yes.
now, so he takes the heirloom mail that Slackjaw was wearing and takes it with him.
All of you see him take the armor off of Slackjaw, and there's a part of you that almost says something, but then you remember what just happened, and no one says anything. Like it is time to redeem those items, and you have heirloom equipment. What you just put upon you has bad augur to it. You understand what I'm saying? It might rub off on you, and it might be bad, but in order for that to not happen, it must be redeemed. And that is just something in you as a dwarf that you understand. This is not you just happy-go-lucky taking armor off of a body. This is a moment of input. All of you roll 20-sided.
An 18.
17.
18.
Holy shit.
Okay.
6.
You bury the bodies, and all of you, there's a part of you that buries the shame with it, but not all of the shame. But it does take a little bit of the heaviness off of you, but you realize that we're alive and we did what we had to do, but how on earth will we cover this up? But you cannot think upon that now.
Oh, Slackjaw.
I have to say, it was particularly fun to have you berating your own actions after stepping into, who wasn't Vager?
Now that was fun. This is my first time getting to play two characters in a single session, and really opened my eyes to take a look at the actions that my character Slackjaw took during the course of the adventure. He did some shady stuff, and he thought, in his own eyes, he thought what he was doing was the most good that he could. Right? He thought he was doing something noble. He thought he was doing something, knew that others wouldn't understand it. But in his eyes, it was good. And as a player, you think that your allies are always going to agree with what you want to do. And you also get deluded into thinking you have plot armor, but I was probably the most surprised that I ended up dead at the end of this encounter.
Plot.
I think, well, one, he had an axe that went into his brain, so like he's more than concussed. So I'm not sure he completely understood really what was happening, enough to understand that something's wrong here. But when he was trying to explain to all of you, like, this man is not an orc, or excuse me, this man is not a dwarf. Dwarfs would not do this. I think that was coming from a very genuine place from him. I don't think there is a bone in his body that is sort of devious and conniving. So I think he very much so thought this man was sick and did not take an action that a dwarf that was well would take. So I don't think we should be judging him by dwarven standards. And if he'd gotten a chance to say that to the dwarf who killed himself, he would have said the same thing. That, like, you weren't killing a dwarf anymore, you were killing whatever was left over by this, whatever has affected him.
I think whatever Hawk thought was, whatever struggles he thought would be basically penultimate struggles, mentally, physically, and spiritually, through death of a wife, having to raise a child of his own, being part of like the Dwarven Hearth Guard, being in battles with strange creatures and creatures from the Underdark and orcs and things like that, was completely surpassed by, I mean, what happened in the last half of this last session. Not just, I mean, like, not just the stuff with the heart and all that, but it was like way more than you would think. Like, if you were writing a background, it'd be like way more. If you're writing a story, like, I couldn't have even perceived that we would have encountered these things. Had that, like, they have this fierce battle, they almost die. Then they have another fierce battle, they almost die. Then they have this crazy battle that is like, nuts with this giant. And then this thing happens where you're like, where did this? Is like America's Most Wanted. I mean, like,
Yeah,
it's like,
that's a left turn.
but I can, but at the same time, as a person, as a player, I can see where Slackjaw was going, because I somehow in sort of like that mindset, maybe he was trying to bring this person back to life, give him a second chance or what have you. I don't know, who knows? But it was so outside of what you normally deal with when you're playing like a fantasy role-playing game. But very interesting too. It was like one of these like weird moral quandaries where you're like, oh my god, how do we deal with it? And then having to think like, this is a guy who's experienced, been in like combat and fought for his clan and all that, but then having to imagine like, this has never happened in the history of the dwarves. We have precedent here. Like, how are we going to deal with it? And his idea was like, just be quiet for now. All they need to know is that these people died during this battle, and that's it. And if we're going
there's no internet.
Yeah, no internet. Yeah, no cell phones. There's no pictures of it. and if you're careful, if the king is going to build this clan, then this new kingdom and all that, then we have to suffer basically, and not let anybody else know what happened, so that they can thrive and do well without to throw their back. So I couldn't have imagined that you would encounter that. Well, when you're playing a game, you never imagined that. It was interesting, very interesting, and different and fun.
I was so focused on our mission and like where we were going that I was kind of like, I don't know what this is, but like, I'm not really gonna pay attention to this. So that I think is probably why, I was I didn't see it coming. I didn't really want to kind of like accept that this is where we are landing at the end there, I think.
And I remember when I was just cleaning, that was kind of my responsibility all by myself. No one really thought of me. And then all of a sudden, I'm being told, I got the power to change everything. And just kind of that pressure at times got to me. It felt like everything was riding on me. And I definitely froze up. It's definitely something that I could definitely do better.
I thought we were gonna lose Herc about 5 different times during this game, and it came close a couple of times. But it was really fun to go from being this very scared boy who did not really believe in himself, to sort of having this vision and understanding his power, to feeling that bloodlust for the first time. Really, I think it was the way that the king treated him, and then just his back stiffening when he realized he had been spoken to by a creature of legend, and how dare this king make him feel less when he was relaying a sacred message to this raisin bag. And I think that was his big moment where everything sort of turned.
Kind of going through everything, the responsibility of healing everyone, but also like being responsible, bearing everyone, and kind of feeling like he didn't rise up to the occasion. He was kind of being disappointed by everything. So seeing if he can overcome the challenges and make everyone proud, I guess.
And it's hard to see a character have such great moments where you think, oh man, this guy is good. It almost excuses some of the strange things that he does, sneaking around with live hearts in jars and and trying to carve out the heart of an ally, which in retrospect, I can kind of see why that was frowned upon. But had he succeeded in his endeavor, then I think it would have been good for the party. Something that we'll never know. And now the dwarf party has to deal with that shame.
What an adventure! What an adventure! Man, I wanna just beat up my older brother who took off. I feel kind of like I'm Prince Harry a little bit. Like I kind of got ostracized at the end of this, and never in a million years did I think that this is how things were gonna end up. But I feel like because we are from the noble clan, and we have to reclaim our situation, that this is how we have to do it. And thankfully there is no internet and there is no publicity that we don't have to give to the situation of how it ended. I was excited to go through this many adventures, to have this. I didn't think that this would be so up and down, and so many fighting and battles.
So it's interesting. He has always been an outcast among outcasts. He's always been looked down upon by all of the other dwarves, even in some ways the clanless dwarves, and certain dwarves of his own clan. And so, in the way that outcasts have to make their own way, he's never really felt like he had anything to prove to the other dwarves, but to his father, 100%. He always wanted to be the man that his father saw in him, even though he just kept not living up to that expectation.
The Mad Piper was, Slackjaw was pretty much the only ally that little Mad Piper had, so I think the Mad Piper is not long for this world, but will stick around, orbit the party, and we'll see whether he wreaks havoc or is a boon.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I think that the thing is really like, do you really want, especially if you've grown up your whole life being like, oh, that'll be someone else's job, then you're kind of like, the pressure is off, because you're like, oh, I don't need to worry about that. But so I think I'm kind of hoping that we're gonna find him alive, and I can just go back to not having that responsibility. I think that would be nice for me, at least.
Honestly, I just want him to be as powerful as everyone kind of sees him to be. He was like just cleaning. Everyone was always telling him what to do. He's never really had much power, and he just wants to make everyone proud. That's kind of his goal.
He has time to think about it, and hopefully by the end of this, if he lives, because that's not a given, he will realize that it's not about living up to what his father sees for him. It's about living up to the potential he sees in himself. And I think that's the journey and the trajectory he's going on, but he hasn't had time to reflect yet.
There were some blanking moments. I think the fog of war, I think the low blood sugar at times. Yeah, I think there's sometimes you're I think that what I love most about this is that I'm tested, like you just don't know what's going to come at you, and so it's trying to dig into your creative juices and come up with something. And sometimes there's you come up with a blank.
I think this is the first time that he has faced this and he's still running on the adrenaline high. And I think the moment that he threw Leaf out of the way of the blow of the giant and took the blow was the moment he felt the most like he was becoming the man he needed to be. And so I think tonight when they sleep, he's probably going to have the shakes and maybe even puke the way that people do when they come out of like an adrenaline high. We're out of combat for the first time, but he's finding himself and realizing he's not as afraid as he thought he was.
Wow, what an interesting, strange game.
Says the dungeon master.
I never know what the heck is going to happen, and that's part of the fun. And I really appreciate the fact that you guys give me that opportunity. I'm here to provide the setting, conflict, tension, and suspense. You guys are there to provide the impetus of the action, and you darn well did. Hawk, I dug this character, and I really love the role play that you did with everybody, and I'm going to give you a 35. So that's 35 extra fate tokens. Okay. Leaf, for your first time, brilliant, good job. I want you at the table in the future. You're always welcome. I'm going to give you a 20. Slackjaw, I really, really dug everything that you did, and I especially liked the fact that you got yourself into trouble. I love it when role players get into trouble. It really makes my job great. So I'm going to give Slackjaw a 30, and I'm going to give you a 20 for Vager. Okay, and Gisley, you were between a rock and a hard place, but you did the best you could.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a 20. And Herc, absolutely fantastic. Loved it. Loved the arc. Great role play. I'm going to give you a 40. I'm going to give you the key award.
Yes.
And the key award is 100 extra.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's, if you wish, you can buy with it whatever you want. But if you wish, that's actually 2 combat 20s. So that's pretty substantial. Way to go.
Thank you.